I'm still standing better than I ever did. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Pit Podcast, an experience by Five Viper. That is me, your host, Fives. And we're back in the pit, ladies and gentlemen. And we got four main topics to talk about on this episode. And we're jumping in hot and heavy with a hot take. Why the DCEU is already starting off to a bad start in its reboot. And kind of our second topic goes into this a little bit as well. But why the DCEU sucks already. The only redeeming factor about this new DCEU is they are continuing Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Robert Pattinson's Batman. Those are the only two redeeming qualities so far. You get rid of Henry Cavill. You get rid of Batfleck. You get rid of Wonder Woman. But you're keeping the Flash. Makes no sense to me. You know, they're starting over, and I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just going to be some of the same old. They cut and make a movie. It doesn't resonate with the fans. It's not great. And you go on from there. Everybody continues to hate it. Everybody continues to blame one another. And nothing is done right. And I think a lot of this comes down to the WB executives. WB executives are losing their mind because they're losing money. And of course, money talks. You know, when you pour billions and billions of dollars into franchises and stuff like that are just not working and not making you money, you're going to get panicked, you're going to get paranoid. You know, and in one of those paranoias, there's a major rumor out there. Again, it's just a rumor. No official sources are talking about this that I know of. But it is rumored that they're considering rebooting the Harry Potter series. And let me tell you why that is a mistake. Warner Brothers, do not mess with these 90 Kids nostalgia. And 90 Kids nostalgia loves Harry Potter. They grew up with the books. They grew up with the movies. It was a huge medium for a lot of us growing up during that time. Everybody was watching it. Everybody loved it. And you're going to piss off a lot of people if you reboot the Harry Potter series. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. If you reboot Harry Potter, if you wanted to tell the story again in a new way, then you make a television series akin to Game of Thrones. And you detail each chapter. You line it all out. You don't leave anything from those books out. You know, as you guys know, the movies left a lot of stuff out for time constraint. And this is why I personally feel like book adaptations should always be a TV series. Because you can take and have as many number of episodes as you want. And you can dissect every single line, every single chapter, every single paragraph. And you can give all of that story in a television series because you know you're going to have 10, 15, 12, 20, 30 episodes in a season. However many you want. And that's why I personally feel if you adapt a book, it needs to be a television series. You know, The Rings of Power did a great example of this. They're giving you meaty, detailed information, which they're going based off of almost nothing to begin with. But it's a little slower at times because it's giving you every ounce of the story, every word of the story when you do it that way. But when you're desperate for money, you make considerations. Let's reboot the Harry Potter movies. because we're not making any money, and Harry Potter made us tons and tons and tons and tons of money. No. That's not what you do. Because you start doing that, you start delving into that territory, then you're going to have a lot of Potter fans pissed off, boycotting, not wanting to watch it, all that stuff. I mean, look at the abysmal disaster of the last two Fantastic Beasts movies. Great start, great beginning to a story in Fantastic Beasts 1. Second one, kind of dipped off a little bit. Third one really dipped off bad, and it wasn't anything that was wrong with the movies. It was all executive decisions. You know, you have a movie cut, shot, and almost done, and then you got to go back and reshoot everything because of legal trouble with one actor. You know, I think that hurt a lot of people. That scorned a lot of people. Didn't like it. Didn't like the change. Didn't like any of that. You know, and that's one of those things that you really gotta watch your target audience. You know, if you're not paying attention to your target audience, you're not listening to what they're saying, what they're telling you, you're gonna lose more. And the answer to your troubles is not reboot what we already have. Let's do something new of what we already have. Let's make new Wizarding World material. Let's do Snape's story. His story growing up through becoming, you know, how did he get involved with Voldemort? How did he, you know, that double agent aspect kind of it, you know, when did that start? Let's play into that. The rise of Voldemort. You know, you could easily do a television series. Season 1 is first year. Season 2 is second year. Season 3 is third year. And then, or you start in year 6, 7 with Voldemort. His last couple years at Hogwarts. Goes into the real world. What does he do to become Voldemort? What's Tom Riddle do to become Voldemort after he leaves Hogwarts? Those are the stuff that fans want to see. You know, how does Dumbledore and Grindelwald find the Elder Wand and the Deathly Hallows and those things? Those are what the fans want to see. Not any of this, let's reboot the story that everybody's already seen and watched hundreds of thousands of times. No, not that. You know, same thing with the DCEU, man. Like, let's be original with it. Tell stories that you wouldn't have normally thought to tell the stories of. You know, and Zack Snyder was kind of onto that. You know, while Marvel was taking their heroes in the direction of good guys win all, you know, bad guys never win except for in Infinity War. You know, you take the good guys and you make them the bad guys. You could tell his series was going the path of injustice, or it was going to be a linear story that followed. Like every time something happened, you know, Batman would see the injustice side of it and constantly bring in the contingency plans. You know, that's what you do. You tell those stories that you wouldn't normally tell. You know, everybody knows the Superman story. Everybody knows the Batman story. Bring in Green Lantern again. Redo the Green Lantern movie. Make it correctly. You know, redo Wonder Woman. Make it correctly. You know, that's the issue. That's the real heart of the issue that nobody's talking about, is they're just telling these stories that nobody cares for. There's no character development. There's no, you know, why is this happening? There's none of that stuff, man. None of it. None of it. And that's what sucks. My last two topics for this podcast. we're gonna go with a little bit of a serious topic here. One that I think a lot of people out there kind of need to talk about, and that's balancing life with content creation, or life with a second job, or a dream job, or whatever it is, side hustle, whatever. When you're like me, married, got 2 kids under 3 years old, you work full-time job, 40 hours a week, very hard to find time to do these kinds of things. So you got to constrain yourself and make the time. Me currently, at the time of recording this, I would have been off for my, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5th day in a row. Went for New Year's weekend. Was sick to start New Year's weekend off Friday night, and tested positive for COVID. So my work policy is, because I tested again on Monday, because we were off for Monday for recognizing New Year's Day, because I was still positive Monday. I told my boss on that Monday, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it in tomorrow. I'm positive for COVID. Because I told him on Monday instead of Friday. Well, now I can't go back to the following Monday. Company policy. Have to take off a week. Even if you test negative, have to be off a week. Just to be sure. That's the policy. So, this week's a little different because I got a whole week off. Doing normal stuff. Do all my stuff I normally do during the day. Nighttime's a little free. So I can do all this stuff at night. But I can't do it every week, because I got work, I got this, I got that. But you gotta find the time to make it. And when I was streaming, I made the time. So you gotta find and make the time all at the same time. And it's this very difficult, very, very difficult balance of trying to find what works and what doesn't work for you and your family and your job and all that stuff. So no matter what you're doing, you have to, one, have open communication. Hey, I want to do this thing. I need these nights to do it. Have that open line of communication with your partner. That's number 1. Number 2, plan it out ahead. I've got up to, I think, I've got up to episode 7 of the podcast written out on paper, of topics, discussions, those kind of things. I could honestly record the first 7 episodes of the podcast this week, and if I did a once a month review or a once a month release with the podcast, then I got 7 months worth of podcasts saved up. But I think I want to do weekly or bi-weekly. So if I did 7, then I've got the next, however many weeks worth. If I do bi-weekly, I've got episode 1 done, this is episode 2. It's a month. So every 2 weeks, so boom, boom, whatever. But you really, really have to balance everything. You gotta find your inner balance as well. And when I say your inner balance is, if you're not feeling it, you sit down in the chair, you put all the equipment up, you're doing everything. If you're not feeling it, it's not gonna be good content. You're not gonna feel it. It's not gonna be good. And you really need to find your inner balance that makes you and drives you to pump out and create better content. Excuse me. So, I know it's a lot of long-winded of just find yourself, find what makes you happy, do the content that makes you happy, balance it with everything. Because at the end of the day, if you're making content that not even you are watching, why are you doing it in the first place? Straight up. Last topic on the list to talk about is why French toast is the superior breakfast food. And I know what you guys are thinking out there. You guys are thinking, how can you go from that topic to this topic? And listen, my show, my rules. Excuse me. My show, my rules. All right. So, why I feel French toast is the superior topic. It just tastes the best, man. That's the cinnamon, the vanilla, the powdered sugar. You just don't get that with the waffle or the pancake. You know, French toast. You know, get the big, thick, fluffy toast, and you batter it in the egg, fry it up. You got the vanilla, the cinnamon in it. You know, you get all that rich flavor when you eat French toast versus when you don't eat French toast. And that's the roughest part right there is, you know, I've had some really good fluffy pancakes, decent flavor, but you got to drench it in syrup. Same thing with the waffle. You know, French toast, I can eat it without the syrup. And that's the game changer right there, is when you can eat it without the syrup. That's what makes it superior. Because at that point, then you're just eating something for the best as a vessel for syrup. And when you're doing that, you're just essentially just finding a reason to eat syrup. You know, you can have a pancake without syrup, but it's not great. Same thing with a waffle. You know, the only way you can really do this is throw chocolate chips in it. You know, throw something else sweet in it. Berries, fruit. Don't eat that with French toast. I'm just saying. Next time you sit down for breakfast, I want you to try that French toast. And I want you to tell me in the comment section below why that French toast was better than the waffle and the pancake. And that's how we're going to leave this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Pit Podcast Experience with your host, Viper. Fives. I will catch you guys later on. Peace out, guys.